Agriculture field practices used in growing crops, the agronomic practices. Field practices used in growing crops, the agronomic practices. 1. Planting. This refers to the actual placement of seed in the nursery bed or the actual garden. Note: planting materials refers to any plant's part that is used to raise a crop, e.g., seed or vegetative part. Nursery bed refers to a small portion of land prepared for raising seedling. Before transplanting, it's always 1 meter wide with the length of any reasonable degree, while a seed bed on the other side refers to a piece of land, varying in size from 100 or even 1,000 hectares, which has been prepared and ready to receive planting materials where they can grow up. Importance of a nursery bed. Many seedlings can be raised in a small area. Makes it easy to carry out routine management practices. It provides the best conditions for growth, e.g., fine tilt. Small seeds can be planted and raised into a form that can grow independently. Excess seedlings can be sold by the farmers for income. Factors to consider when selecting a site for nursery bed. Agriculture field practices used in growing crops, the agronomic practices. Pests and diseases. The site should be free from pests and diseases. Method of planting. There are basically 2 methods of planting crops, i.e., broadcasting and row planting. Broadcasting method. This refers to random spreading of seeds as even as possible at the seed bed and then covered lightly with the soil. Advantages of broadcasting seeds. It saves time and labor. It requires less technical skills. If done carefully and skillfully, an even crop stands at correct spacing can be achieved. In pasture management, it allows oversowing without any damage to the existing plants. Planting in accessible areas is possible, such as steep slopes and water. Large soft soil where mechanical planting would be impossible. Disadvantages of broadcasting seeds. It is almost impossible to distinguish a crop like finger millet from closely related weeds in the young stages. Use of machinery in farm tasks is almost impossible. If done by an experienced person, it can lead to uneven crop stand. Agriculture field practices used in growing crops, the agronomic practices. It is easy to use machines in practices such as weeding, spraying, etc. It ensures optimum crop population in the field for greater yields. It ensures maximum utilization of growth requirements. It allows uniform placement of seeds at uniform depth, which allows uniform germination. It allows sufficient working space to the farmer when carrying out management practices. It reduces wastage of seed, as in the case of broadcasting. The plant population in the field can easily be established, thus allowing estimation of the crop yield. It makes weed control easy, as farmers can easily differentiate weeds from crops. Demerits of row planting. It requires more skilled labor than broadcasting. It encourages soil erosion on steep slopes. It requires more time as compared to broadcasting. It reduces the crop population in the field. The method is of little practical value for small seeded crops such as millet and wheat. Agriculture field practices used in growing crops, the agronomic practices. Type of soil. In light soil such as sand, seeds are put deep into the soil to enable them to access water. Weather conditions. During very hot weather, seeds are put into the soil to enable them access water. Active pests. Large seeds which are highly vulnerable to field rodents and insects should be planted deeper to prevent them from being eaten by rodents and insect pests. Benefits of early planting. Early planted crops have more water to utilize during their growing period. There is a better soil condition, i.e., aeration and temperature. Early planted crops benefit from the nitrogen flush at the beginning of the rains. The crops escape pests and diseases in the field as crops grow fast, before the pest population increases. Early planted crops escape weed competition in the field as crops grow fast and smother weeds. Early planted crops are able to utilize better sun radiation. It allows crop harvesting to coincide with the dry season. This reduces crop losses during harvesting due to bad weather. Agriculture field practices used in growing crops, the agronomic practices. Habit of growth. Spreading crops need more space than non-spreading crops. Time taken by the crop to mature. Perennials need more space than annuals. Size and space needed by the mature crop. Close spacing is done if the mature crop requires small space. Percentage germination. Where percentage germination is low, close spacing is done. Root growth habits. Crops with spreading roots need bigger spacing. Type of pollination. Cross-pollinated crops require close spacing as compared to self-pollinated crops. Need to control diseases. In groundnuts, close spacing controls groundnut rosette. Moisture content of the soil. Close spacing is used when the moisture content of the soil is high. Purpose of the crops. Crops that are grown to make silage or hay are closely spaced. Advantages of proper crop spacing. It allows use of machines on the farm to do activities such as planting, weeding and harvesting. Agriculture field practices used in growing crops, the agronomic practices. It allows ample working space during field practices such as thinning, pruning, fertilizer application and harvesting. It allows optimum crop population in the field for maximum yields. It allows sufficient utilization of soil moisture and nutrients. It reduces competition for light and pollinators. 3. Seed selection and dressing. Seed selection refers to choosing best quality seed to be planted so that they are able to grow into mature crops and give high yield, while seed dressing is the coating/mixing of seeds with suitable strain of chemicals and pesticide to prevent attack and damage by storage pest. 4. Use of recommended seed rate. A seed rate refers to the quantity of seeds required per unit area of land. There are basically 3 types of seed rate on a farm: high seed rate, low seed rate, optimum seed rate. High seed rate, this is when a farm will plant more seed in an area than that which is recommended. It normally leads to agriculture field practices used in growing crops, the agronomic practices. Optimum seed rate, this is when a farmer uses the recommended quantity of seed in a given area. Optimum seed rate promotes high yields of crops, easy management of crop, high income due to high quality yields from crop plant. Note, a seed rate is mostly determined by the growth habit of the drop plants and the quality of the seeds used. 5. Gap filling. This is the filling of empty spaces where seed did not germinate or where seedling dried up after transplanting in the field to ensure optimum plant population. It's done by replanting fresh seeds/seedling in the gap. Gap filling has advantages of regulating plant population and filling empty spaces to avoid wastage of land. 6. Thinning. This is the removal of excess seedlings, usually weak ones, from the planting holes some days after germination to leave correct spacing. Examples of plant that can be thinned are maize, cotton, etc. 7. Pricking out. This is the removal of excess seedlings from the crowded area in the nursery bed. 8. Pruning. This is the removal of plant spots which are less productive or unproductive altogether, e.g. injured or diseased branches of crop plants. Advantages of pruning. It facilitates easy management of crop plants, e.g. spraying, weeding, etc. It gives a plant proper shape and to control its growth. To control pest and disease by interfering with the cool microclimate which favors their survival. It also encourages healthy growth of crop plants by opening space for air circulation and light entry for photosynthesis. Agriculture field practices used in growing crops, the agronomic practices. It economizes on the use of chemicals by reducing the surface area to be covered with chemicals during spraying. To control overbearing of fruits, e.g. in mangoes and tomatoes. It gives a convenient height for workers for easy harvesting. To improve on the longevity of crops' productive life, making the plant to produce regularly and yearly, e.g. in coffee. 9. Staking. This refers to the process of supporting weak stem plants above the ground to access sunlight for growth, e.g. in passion fruit, tomatoes, etc. Advantages of staking. It exposes plants to get enough sunlight for maximum yield. It improves on the quality of the fruits by removing them from contact with the ground. It reduces the incidence of pest and disease existing within the soil, especially fungal disease. It facilitates easy management of crop plants, e.g. weeding, spraying. It also promotes free air circulation between the plants. The quality of fruits is maintained since they are not trampled on by the farmers. Agriculture field practices used in growing crops, the agronomic practices. It enables the plant to withstand erosion in case of runoff. It also creates suitable condition for bulb formation in onion. 11. Pest and disease control. Pest and disease should be effectively controlled as they lower the qualities of crop in the field. 12. Application of manure to enrich on soil nutrients for better yield. 13. Irrigation. This is the artificial application of water from a reliable source to a dry land. It's done to maintain adequate moisture in the soil for better crop yield. 14. Drainage. This is done to remove excess water from the soil so as to create suitable for crop growth. 15. Mulching. This is the covering of soil surface using mulches to prevent it from excessive evaporation, control weed growth and soil erosion which lowers crop yield. 16. Timely weeding of crop plants to minimize on completion for nutrients with the crop plants. 17. Timely harvesting. Harvesting refers to removal of mature plant sprouts from the parent plants. It's the climax of crop's productive life in the field. Crops should be harvested in time to reduce crop losses caused by insect pests, birds, Thieves, rodents shattering and germination of seeds from the garden. The plant is considered mature when the reproductive parts has accumulated. Agriculture field practices used in growing crops, the agronomic practices. It leads to reduced seed viability either due to immature embryo or accumulation of food reserve on the stem. It predisposes crop to pest attack due to soft tester. It's difficult to process plant produce, especially threshing. Effects of delayed harvest. Losses of produce due to splitting of pods, rotting of fruits and vegetable. It encourages buildup of pests and diseases. 18. Drying of crops. This practice is carried out especially on grain to obtain the correct moisture content for storage. Reasons for drying of crop produce. It prevents produce from rotting and decay caused by fungi. To reduce insect damage. To prevent growth on crop plants. To maintain seed viability and quality. To reduce bulkiness of crops for easy transportation. To prevent germination of seeds in store. To allow easy processing of crop produce into other forms, e.g., maize grain to maize flour. To prolong the storage period for crop produce. 19. Proper storage. This prevents spoilage of seeds caused by storage pests, and it also makes produce available for future use. Characteristics of a good crop store. The store must be of good construction and rainproof. Agriculture field practices used in growing crops, the agronomic practices. It should be securely located to prevent thieves. It should be treated against pests and diseases. The store must be raised off above the ground to prevent dampness caused by capillarity. It should not have any cracks on the surface or from the wall. This attracts pests. It should be thoroughly smeared before new crop produce are brought in. Measures that can minimize crop losses during storage. Proper drying of produce to approximate moisture content. Proper ventilation of the store to allow free air circulation and to prevent accumulation of heat. Carry out seed dressing before or during storage using suitable chemicals to control pests. Regular checking of stores should be done and avoid mixing old produce with new ones. Seal off all the cracks with mortar/care dung to destroy breeding ground for pests that destroy crops. Clean the store properly before introducing new crop produce in. Raise the store above the ground to avoid dampness. 20. Processing. This is the transformation of raw materials into final utilizable products. It includes activities like threshing, winnowing, sorting, grading, and packaging the crop products. Reasons for processing. To reduce bulkiness and make transportation easier. To reduce wastage due to spoilage. Agriculture field practices used in growing crops, the agronomic practices.